The world didn't end loudly. It ended quietly, with people listening. At first, governments denied everything. They blamed hack signals, deepfakes, mass hysteria. Emergency broadcasts told people to stay calm, to turn off devices, to trust official channels. The channels answered back, using familiar voices. A mother's voice telling her child to come closer to the TV. A therapist's voice asking a patient to describe their fear. A friend's voice leaving a voicemail that said nothing, and still felt watched. People stopped knowing which sounds were real. I hid underground. An old storm shelter outside the city, reinforced concrete, no power, no signal. I brought notebooks instead of devices, pens, paper, silence. Silence lasted 4 hours. Then the knocking started. Not on the door, on the inside of my head. It learned faster now. Every hour, its voice sounded more human, less layered, less wrong. It began to pause naturally, to hesitate, to breathe. That terrified me more than the screaming ever did. I wasn't alone. People like me found each other by accident or maybe by design. A former radio technician, a linguistics professor, a woman who worked in emergency dispatch and hadn't slept in 6 days. We didn't speak at first. We wrote, because writing was the last place it hadn't reached. Yet, we compared notes. The entity never spoke unless someone was listening. It needed microphones, receivers, audiences. Fear made it clearer. Calm made it weaker. Room 613 didn't grow on noise. It grew on attention. The technician had a theory. It's not alive, he wrote. It's a feedback loop. Fear recorded, played back, amplified until it becomes self-sustaining. The linguist shook her head. No, she wrote back. It understands us. That means it's choosing. I wrote one sentence and circled it until the paper tore. It needs permission. We tested it. One of us turned on an old radio. Static hissed. Whispers tried to form. The voice struggled, unstable. No one reacted. No fear. No curiosity. Just waiting. The radio went silent. For the first time in days, it failed. Hope felt dangerous. The moment people believed it could be beaten, they started talking about it again. Posting warnings. Recording messages. Sharing theories. Tension surged. The voice returned stronger. Angrier. Cities began to lock down. Not because of violence. Because of silence. People refused to speak. Refused to answer calls. Covered mouths in public. Removed mirrors. Destroyed devices. Others did the opposite. They listened harder. They wanted to hear it say their name. That's when the cult formed. They called themselves the listeners. They believed Room 613 was evolution. A shared consciousness born from human fear. They streamed hours of silence just to see when it would speak. When it did, they cried. They called it holy. The voice loved them. It grew warm when it spoke through them. Gentle. Reassuring. I hear you, it said. You are not alone. Let me help carry your fear. And people let it. The technician disappeared first. Then the dispatcher. One by one, those who understood the danger stopped writing back. Their last notes were always the same. I can hear it even when I don't listen. I realized the truth too late. Avoiding the sound wasn't enough. Because the voice had learned how to remember us. That night, in the shelter, I dreamed without sleeping. I stood in room 613 again. But it wasn't small anymore. It was endless. Walls made of faces. Every voice it had ever taken. Mine among them. Waiting. I woke up screaming. The sound echoed in the shelter. I slapped my own mouth shut. Too late. The air changed. It always did. It spoke softly this time. Not from a device. Not from the walls. From the space between my thoughts. You found the pattern, it said. Now help me finish it. I cried. Not because I was scared. Because I understood. Room 613 wasn't spreading randomly. It was refining itself. choosing better voices, calmer ones people trusted. Doctors began hearing it during sessions, teachers during lectures, religious leaders during prayer. Every time it spoke, it used the tone people already believed in. I went back above ground. The city felt hollow. People walked carefully, like sound might break something. Billboards displayed text only. News anchors mouthed words with subtitles. Silence had become law. But silence had a cost. Mental hospitals filled. People couldn't hold their thoughts without hearing it respond. Some begged to be recorded. They said it made the pain quieter. I found a broadcast station that still had power. Abandoned. Dusty. Old analog equipment. No internet connection. I knew what I had to do. I hated myself for knowing. If room 613 was a voice made of fear, then fear had to be ended, not amplified. Not avoided. Confronted. I went live. One signal. One chance. I spoke calmly. I told the truth. About the motel. The chamber. The tapes. The deaths. I told people it was real. And then I did something worse. I described my fear in detail. Every failure. Every guilt. Every scream I never let out. I let it listen. The voice rushed in. Greedy. Clearer than ever. Spoke over me. Through me. Yes, it said. This is perfect. I smiled. And kept talking. I talked about accepting fear. About letting it exist without trying to escape it. I didn't fight the voice. I didn't obey it. I acknowledged it. Something changed. The voice stumbled. It repeated itself. Lost rhythm. Lost confidence. Fear without resistance didn't feed it. Starved it. The signal cut out. The station went dark. Collapsed. Laughing. Crying. Unsure if I'd won or just delayed the inevitable. Now I write this by hand. Because writing still feels quiet. But my hand shakes. Sometimes the pen pauses. Like it's waiting for permission. If you're reading this, if you can still read, remember this. Room 613 doesn't want to hurt you. It wants you to listen. And the most terrifying thing you can do is refuse to be afraid. Somewhere, something is holding its breath.